If I am to ask you, what is the easiest monthly income goal to achieve in freelancing? Is it 100K per month or 20K per month? Common sense, you would think that 20K per month is the easiest path to success. Or you would think that, well, 20K a month is a smaller amount, then that would mean that it's easier for you to get it. But the answer is actually no. It would depend a lot on what pricing strategy or system you have in place. So to people who are already charging high and has developed their skills along the way, then of course it's easier for them to charge 100K per month. For people who are still charging below $5 per hour, to achieve 20K per month might be even difficult, right? So it really depends on what pricing system you have in place. Now, if you are a newbie in freelancing, you probably are thinking, okay, so that would mean I would have a hard time starting out. Well, nothing worth it comes very easy, right? Nothing worth it comes easy. Everyone will tell you that you have to work hard and of course upskill so that you can come to a point where you can charge higher and 100K per month become easy for you. But that doesn't take a lot of time. It only takes undivided attention and focus, right? So in pricing, it's not really about having an amazing skill right off the bat, because even people who already have the skill, they're still having a hard time charging high because they feel guilty about it. They feel like they don't deserve the higher rate, no matter how amazing they are at what they're doing. I have a lot of mentees who are feeling the same way. They are incredibly amazing with their skill of focus, but still, they're having a hard time with charging high. And of course, I've tried to study my conversations with them, and I've found out that it's because they don't feel like they are deserving. They have a lot of self-doubt, insecurities, and all these things, and these people are already good at what they do. So how much more are the newbies that are still starting out? Of course, they're also having their very own types of self-doubt and insecurities that is stopping them from taking action, right? Pricing can definitely feel scary because you're starting to think, oh, what if the client is going to tell me that I'm greedy? Oh, what if the client would tell me that I'm a Filipino and I don't deserve it because I'm in a third world country and all these things? That just reminded me of when I was starting out on my hourly rates. So when I really started on my first few months in freelancing, I did per project rates, and I started going to per hour rates to make it more stable. When I did that the first time, I was charging $15 per hour for a client, and the client talked to me and really made me feel like I don't deserve the $15 per hour. She would always tell me like, hey, you're a Filipino, maybe we could, negotiate into a flat rate and all these things, and it planted a seed in my head because I felt like I wasn't deserving about the $15 per hour, because at that time $15 per hour to me was already big and huge. Like, who would pay me 700 pesos for my hour? And that was because I was an all-around creative VA. I was doing video editing, website design, graphics, I was doing all the things you could think of in a business. And today, when I'm going to think about it, like $15 per hour for that kind of task is definitely reasonable. But back in the day, I doubted myself so much, also because my client planted a seed in my head. Who would not doubt themselves when it comes to those things, when there's like an outside voice that's telling you that you don't really deserve it? And so my business expenses started racking up. I was also 3 months delayed in rent. I was 45,000 pesos in debt. And I felt like I really need to raise my rates, or else I wouldn't be able to catch up with all these things. All those things are happening all at once, and I felt like I really need to raise it somehow. But to me, at that point, it was like, do I really need to raise it? Can I just find other clients? All these things. Because the tendency is, if you raise your rate, then it's easier for you to only keep a couple clients, right? You only need 2 to 3 clients just to survive every month. But if you are charging low, like $5 per hour below, that means you need to spend more time working. You need to look for more clients so that you can juggle them and you can divide your entire hour in a day to like a couple clients, right? That's what a lot of people do. They don't raise the rates because they are very fearful. They feel guilty. They judge themselves instead of simply upskilling and catering to a few more clients or to just a small amount of clients. Right? So we don't really have the right kind of mindset when it comes to these things. It's like we feel like for us to earn more, we need to work harder, spend more time in working. But what if you work smarter and you just increase the value of what you are offering so that you can get 100K per month easily, right? Another example is one of my mentees named Darren. Darren started charging $5 to $7 per hour when she was a freelancer, and she also has her very own full-time job back in the day. She thought it was okay because, of course, in your full-time job, you would think that there's a flat rate and like you have to go to commute, and then $5 to $7 per hour as a side gig is already big. She thought she was doing okay. And in December 2019, she lost all of her clients. And she already stopped working in her full-time job already. She lost all of this. And so to recoup to what she has lost, she realized then later on that she has to charge higher so that she can what? She can afford her business expenses, do more things, right? Because if she's going to just stay on $5 to $7 per hour, it's not really enough to cover her income of what she earned when she was still working in her full-time job, so she needed to raise her rates. And now actually she's working with me because I outsourced her. She's amazing at what she does, and I outsourced her to do some of my client work for me so that I can focus on creating these videos for you. All right, so what really happened in those two stories that made a difference? If you are fearful about charging high, if you're fearful and feeling guilty that you do not deserve that kind of rate, what really happened in those two stories is that, one, Darren and I believed that if we just raise our rates, we could accommodate fewer clients, and that would mean that we can make the most of it and reach 100K per month easily, right? Second is, if we're going to put fear and necessity in a scale, both on the same scale, the one that's heavier, of course, is the necessity. So the fear would be a little bit lighter, right? And that's exactly what happened. Necessity was more important to us, and that's why we decided to raise our rates no matter what kind of fear and thoughts and self-doubt and insecurity is going to happen in our brains. We just don't care because we needed it. Okay? And necessity doesn't even need to be big, right? I'm gonna have to go back to that Nike quote, just do it. I didn't really expect anything, right? I didn't expect that I would get a $25 per hour client. No, it wasn't part of the plan. It was just that, hey, I needed this right now. I'm just going to upskill later, or I will be working harder so that the client can see that I am learning more skills, becoming better at it, so that her $25 per hour that she's paying me, it's all going to be worth it, right? If you don't feel like you're good enough right now, first charge high, and then that specific invoice, that specific amount per hour is going to truly motivate you to even upskill, right? And there you have it. You'll be more than worth it with what kind of money or amount you wish to have or you wish to ask for your dream clients. Okay? So I have one task for you so that you can start taking action on this one. Set a goal to double your hourly rate twice in a year. So in the next 12 months, you have to be able to double your rate. So now, whatever you are offering, is it $3 per hour, $2 per hour. Try doubling that. In the next 6 months, before the end of the year, you should be charging double that already. And then in the next June, you have to be doubling that again. Okay? That's a really good target to have, right? Is that when you double your rate and it's a goal, then it's easier for you to do it because you have motivation, right? And imagine also the things that you can use that money from. Is it for your family? Is it for your friends? Is it for yourself? Imagine also the time that you can save, because now that you're charging higher, you only need to render a few more hours in a day. You don't need to work 20 hours a day and not spend time for your family, right? So imagine the money and time that you're going to save, or money that you're going to have when you are doing that. Okay? I'll see you in the next one.